Happy Monday, guys, and welcome in here to WagerTalk TV. This is Puck Time for Monday, May the 15th. Of course, I'm Andrew McGinnis, and I have Carmine Bianco with me as usual. Guys, exciting times here in the NHL. So many different things to talk about. Of course, a big Game 7 tonight featuring the visitors, Seattle Kraken, and home team Dallas Stars. But Puck time. It's disappointing because the more games that finish up, that means less games moving forward here on the show with us. So for the most part, of course, it will be just one game a day here on Puck Time. Of course, guys, you can find Carmine and I at WagerTalk.com. You can follow us on Twitter as well. I'm at McGinnis Picks, Carmine at Carmine Bianco WT. To get our picks in the NHL and to get picks in other sports as well. But we've got some props. We're going to break down today's Game 7 and discuss some other things as well. But Carm, we pretty much have, we have a lot of winners decided now. We have the Eastern Conference final decided, and we have one team moving on in the West that was decided last night, that being the Vegas Golden Knights. What's up, Carm? How was the weekend, man?
Weekend was good. The weekend was hot here. This is the second last day for me. I fly back on Wednesday, and then I'll be back in my regular chair on Thursday. It was like 31 Celsius, which is about 86, 87 Fahrenheit for you guys south of the border who use Fahrenheit. But it's nice. Got to watch some hockey. Andrew, I've had to watch the games on my laptop for the most part, or on my phone, because they have ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3 here. But of course, none of them are showing NHL hockey. Some of them had to do with last night's game being at like literally 2 o'clock in the morning. They might as well have made it 2 o'clock in the morning because nobody was watching unless you're a Vegas fan, an Edmonton fan, or you had money on the game, which we always do. But yeah, Vegas move on. They were the better team on definitely last night. Didn't take very few penalties. I think they only took one or two penalties, and they caused that Edmonton D to make mistakes, giving up pucks in their own end. At the end of the day, if you're making mistakes on D, you're going to get punished for them, and Vegas did it. I was happy to see Jonathan Marchessault getting some shots on goal because I had him as a prop play for clients at over 3.5 shots on goal. I didn't expect him to score 3 goals. So, with that said, kudos to the Vegas Golden Knights. You guys are on to the conference finals, and who you get to play, we'll find out tonight. And obviously the other one, do we have a start date yet? I haven't even seen a start date with the Canes and Andrew, I'm having a tough time with it. Canes and Florida. So I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be another good series. The Leafs, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, listen, I feel bad for the Leafs fan base. I really, really do. They suffer each and every year. I even broke the sad news on Twitter. I think we might have the video of that if we can put it up there. But you can see I'm genuinely hurt in this video.
It's with a sad heart that I give you guys the bad news. It's really bad, unfortunately. The Leafs have been eliminated from the playoffs.
You just look so sad. You look very. You look like you really feel bad.
I do. It's just the emotion in me is just. We had this. Listen, we even have Andrew the wheel of excuses. My producer and our Will, our graphics guy is fantastic. If you're a Leaf fan, spin that wheel. Figure out what your excuse is. And Andrew, listen, we only have one game today, but I want to touch on it because with any loss or elimination, literally, myself included, the couch GMs come out and they're like, you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to blow up the team. The Leafs handicapped themselves. They handicapped themselves 5 years ago in signing these contracts, Andrew, and you've talked about it with the core four. Giving John Tavares that huge contract, $11 million against the cap hit. Marner, the year that Marner signed his contract and held out, him and his dad, and said, we will hold out and they held the Leafs hostage. Yeah, he had like a 100-point season, but he signed his contract. 2 weeks later, Rantanen signed a contract for $2 million less than what Marner was making. Now, who would you rather have, Rantanen or Marner? It remains to be seen because Rantanen's performed in the playoffs. Marner really hasn't. And then we know the things with Matthews. They have a lot of stuff to look to because these guys have no move clauses with new contracts coming up. And if Matthews says, I'm not allowing you to move me, and on July 1st decides to play out his final season, he's an unrestricted free agent, and the Leafs get nothing for him. The guy can leave, sign with another team, and they're going to get nothing for him. Dubas has done a good job in getting players here, but they were outcoached. Sheldon Keefe is not a playoff coach. He's a good regular season coach, not a playoff coach. And I don't know what Shanahan did. So it remains to be seen what is going to happen with that organization. But with that said, Andrew, we got 5 other teams. 3 of them are through, 2 of them to go through. And if you're a Dallas fan, some good news for you is your coach, Peter DeBoers, is 6-0 in Game 7s. 1-0 in New Jersey in 2012, 2016 and 19, 1-0 and 2-0 with the Sharks. With the Golden Knights in 20 and 21, he won Game 7s in each of those seasons. And here we are. He can go 7-0. It's an underrated stat when a coach can get his team to play well in a Game 7. So with that said, Andrew, you see the sincerity in my heart, I believe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if I may just add my 2 cents to these situations is, I heard some different analysts talking about this over the weekend, and this isn't just us talking about the Leafs. I don't think this is just in general. There's really a difference between a general manager constructing a very solid regular season team versus a playoff team and a first round team versus a complete team that makes that push to the finals. And it was actually Kevin Bieksa, former
we seemed we lost some of Andrew's audio. You would think the audio problems would be for the guy who's in Punta Cana right now, but it's Andrew. It's fine. He'll start talking, and I'll know that his mic is better. So Andrew, if you're back, just let me know.
You got me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Anyway, so I just think that there's really a difference between a good, consistent playoff team and a good regular season team. And we really saw that the Maple Leafs made a lot of changes, and I feel like there was not enough time for them to adjust. So to use that as a transition, as you were doing as well, Carm, here is a Seattle Kraken team that looked mediocre, okay, during the regular season. They were always buzzing around. And here they are. They find themselves in the second round of the playoffs in a Game 7 situation when I guarantee you a casual hockey fan could not name more than 4 or 5 players on that team. And one thing that Kevin Bieksa said, I was talking about him before my mic cut off, is that he said that if you were paying players off their playoff ability, Yanni Gourde would be a $10 million player. And I agree with that. I'm 100% sincere when I say this. I agree. People think that certain guys like Patrick Maroon or Corey Perry, they don't make a huge impact on a team. Well, look what Corey Perry has done in the playoffs every year. And he's super old, right? Different guys like Andre Palat, Yanni Gourde, that might not be really good players during the regular season, their game adjusts to the playoff style. It's more physical. The referees aren't calling as much. The goals are a little more sloppy. There's not nearly as much space. You need those guys that play in those type of games. So let's set the stage here for this one. Looking at the odds, of course, we have the Dallas Stars. They are the home favorites here in Game 7. The price continues to climb. I'm seeing anywhere from minus 190 all the way to minus 210 here in this Game 7. Seattle plus 175. Total at 6. Now, Carm, we haven't seen much of an adjustment throughout this series as far as the total has been concerned, but it's gone over in every game in this series and every meeting between these two clubs during the regular season. So I want to start with that. I mean, do you think that we see much of a change as far as the total is concerned? Maybe we see them try and play better defensive hockey? Because what I've noticed is even if we have a slow first 5 or 10 minutes, once that first goal is scored, it seemed like the floodgates are really opening up. But Dallas obviously coming off that loss, and they've done a pretty good job responding throughout the playoffs. What do you think here in this Game 7, Carm?
Okay, so Andrew, when I look at this game, and hopefully my audio is working fine here because the Wi-Fi is a little terrible, so I apologize for that. But you can't make the total any higher than it already is. We saw 5.5s for the longest time, and we talked about it that they were going over the total, and they went to 6s, and it still went over the total. The teams have shown that they can still score goals. The trend in the first period has changed from being tighter to we've seen goals. 5 goals in the last 2 games, 3 I think in Game 6, and 2 in the first period of Game 5 by the Dallas Stars, and both those games win over the total. Every game has gone over the total. I just don't see how that trend ends. Seattle has found a way to shut down some of the players for Dallas, but they haven't been able to. Dallas is getting some scoring throughout their lines that they put out there. They found a way to shut down Jason Robertson. He hasn't gone over his shots. His shot number of 3.5 in any of the 6 games thus far. And his number that used to be over 3.5 and always juiced is now, they're giving you more and more plus money each and every time. I think he's at plus 130 this morning on over 3.5. I wouldn't put any money on it, even at that plus money, because he hasn't shown that he can get the shots on goal. They're shutting him down the same way in which they did to the Colorado Avalanche. So you got to give this Seattle team credit. As you said, you may not be able to name 4 or 5 guys, but they are a game away from making it to the conference finals against the Vegas Golden Knights. 2 expansion teams. That would be a story in itself. 2 recent expansion teams, the 2 of the most recent expansion teams. I have to believe that Dallas is the play here, but I like the first period. Dallas has gotten off to a good start at home. They did so in Game 5 when they really needed to do so, and got that win. You can get them at plus money if you're taking them on the handicap in the first period, and that's likely what I'm going to do. I look for them to get off to a good start at home. It's a big game for them. It's a big game for both teams. That's an understatement. Or an overstatement. But with that said, I'm taking the Stars. I just have to find a way to bet them, but I'm taking them in the first period. So over, I'm going to take the minus a half plus. I think it's plus 135. But maybe you can confirm that, Andrew, or I will confirm it once you take over.
Yeah, I think you've got the price right there on those. And looking at this game overall, and this series overall, Game 1 finishes 5-4 for Seattle, followed up 4-2 Stars. Game 3, blowout victory for Seattle. Game 4, multiple goal win for the Dallas Stars. This was a zigzag effect all the way until Game 4, Dallas wins, and they followed up in Game 5 with another victory. And of course, Seattle winning Game 6, 6-3. It really seems to me that any team that is really winning this series is putting goals on the board. We've been waiting for that game for Ottinger and Grubauer to steal the show. It kind of set up for that at the start of the series. I think a lot of us expected defense here, but it goes to show really how the NHL is changing, that teams adjust once 1 or 2 goals go in. And Carm, every now and then I bring this up to you, and I will again. Look, I'm not the expert soccer handicapper like you are, but I just noticed this tendency that sometimes in soccer it's 0-0, and then the 75th minute one team scores, and by the time we get to the 90th minute, the game could be 2-1, 3-1. You just need that first goal to open things up. It's really what I have found in this series. But something tells me we won't really have to wait until the second period for things to open up. I believe we see a very fast pace. I don't think we'll see much hesitancy out of these clubs because there's going to be quite a bit of urgency to get that very first goal. And you look at across the board for a lot of these series we've seen this playoffs, you haven't been able to get a really good price on the first period over 1.5. You really haven't. But in this game, you can, especially with the adjustment being made for the total now being at 6 at a lot of places, not the 5.5. I'm very inclined to look towards this 1.5 because I simply don't think we'll have to wait to see some action and see goals. It might not be like the Edmonton series where last night we saw the first period over hit, I think, in a minute or a minute and a half. But I think in the first period, we can see, at least 2 goals and potentially a goal from each team. And as far as the players are concerned, I think that for Seattle, it will have to be their top guys stepping up. As much as I preach depth, it will have to be their top guys. I know, Carm, you've talked about Jaden Schwartz. McCann is back and healthy. Even though he's young, I think Beniers will have to have a big game. I think Vince Dunn will have to step up from the blue line. But looking at this Dallas team, the best part about them is that they do have lots of depth. I mean, you mentioned it. Jason Robertson hasn't really had that great of a round, and look where they are. They're in Game 7 here. Would not surprise me at all to see Jason Robertson have a big game. But, looking at guys like Evgeny Dadonov, even Tyler Seguin, you can get really good prices on the guy to get a point. So I'm looking at a lot of different things for this game. I'll have a lot of props finalized either on Twitter or with clients by the middle of this afternoon. I do have a play up for clients on WagerTalk.com for $9, but there's so much to look at, and I wanted to get your thoughts. What I was saying there about the floodgates opening up after 1 goal is scored, and do you agree with me that we might not have to wait as long today to see some goals here?
Yeah, I think we will, Andrew. These teams, like, okay, we're not. We always talk about it. We're not strategists in that dressing room, but why would you change the philosophy of how you're played throughout this series now in Game 7? They've played. I won't call it up and down hockey, but they've been opportune. They've taken advantage of all their opportunities. They're scoring goals. Why would Seattle change how they played in Game 6, which was going right at Dallas, dumping pucks, getting pucks to the net, scoring goals? Why would Dallas change the way they played in Game 5? They're here for a reason, is because they have been able to put the puck in the net and score and take shots as well too, but still come back and score goals. Why, you know what I mean? Like, can it be a 2-1 game? Of course it could be. Absolutely, it could be a 2-1 game, of course. But there is no way I could take an under in this game just because it's a Game 7. You assume it's going to be an under. It hasn't played that way the whole series, and I can't see them changing it right now. I will say this, Andrew. I was going to mention a little earlier. I'm kind of hurt and surprised by the fact that you called Corey Perry super old. The guy's 37. I'm like 53, dude. I'm like, come on, man. Super old? What does that make me? That makes me like 90, which, speaking of which, quick side note, a little tangent here. Condolences because I'm a big poker guy. I love poker when I'm in Vegas. A big condolences to the Brunson family. Doyle Brunson, 89 years old, passed away last night. This guy was a true legend in the poker community. 10 World Series of Poker bracelets, WPT bracelet. Just an ultimate gambler from the day. And he was an athlete. He was voted one of the top 10 best basketball players before a knee injury curtailed him. And he looked to make money other ways and found one in poker and did very well at it.
Carm, I actually used to watch him all the time. My brother he unlike a lot of my other family members, he's not really into sports like me. So he wouldn't really have any interest in watching hockey or basketball. So to do what he wanted to do sometimes, I would watch the Poker After Dark, the WPT not the WP, the poker tours and different World Poker Tour. Yeah. And he would talk about Brunson being his favorite guy to watch, just how he plays, the respect he has for the game. So I got to watch him and it kind of gave me old memories, just thinking about him and things. So definitely a legend from what I know in the poker space and in general, I think in the gambling community.
And Andrew, poker was always popular in the U.S. And Chris Moneymaker winning the World Series of Poker, a guy who was an accountant who won a $90 satellite or however he got into it and wins the World Series of Poker, created the boom in the U.S. In Canada, it was different. Believe it or not, and this is a hockey show, so it's a perfect segue. The hockey strike in 2005, the lockout created a poker boom in Canada. And here's why: because Sportsnet and TSN, that have 4 different channels each, needed content to replace the games that no longer on. So they were showing the World Series of Poker. They were showing every single poker event they could on TV. People fell in love with it. Daniel Negreanu, Kid Poker from Toronto as well too. And people just fell in love with it, started playing. Poker leagues sprung up at bars. It was unbelievable. And the NHL lockout started the boom up here in Canada. 2005, I don't expect you to remember that, Andrew. That was 18 years ago for you. You're super young, in a anti-Corey Perry kind of way, but a little bit of connection between the two, of poker and hockey.
Yeah, absolutely, and I certainly enjoy it. Wish I was better at the game, but maybe I'll play more in the future. Carm, let's jump into the charity challenge picks. We want to give some picks to the viewers out there, of course, and some thoughts. And we do have a combined 4 picks to give out here on the show today. And again, you guys can find all of our best bets over at WagerTalk. And today is $9 Monday, so every play we have up and available is listed for just $9. But why don't you kick things off for us, Carm? What do you have for us for your charity challenge pick?
Yeah, so some good news as far as the charity challenge goes. On the weekend, and I hate to say it because we had no shows on the weekend, so it's also like past posting bets. We did get some winners in on the charity challenge to boost that bankroll up. A lot of scoring on the weekend, so that helped as well too. As far as the charity challenge play today, I'm going to go to the over in this game. It's at even money for the over 6. And I just don't see. I can't find a reason not to not take the over, judging by how the first 6 games of this series have gone. Are the teams going to play different? I guess we'll find out tonight. But they've been scoring goals in each and every game, every 6 overs in this series, and I'm going to take it for the 7th over in the series, and we'll see how that ends up. Andrew, give me your charity challenge play as well too, and then I'll let you know what I have up at WagerTalk, and we'll do a best bet.
Well, Carm, I talk about the Dallas Stars and what makes them so great, and I think that a thing with them is that they have the experienced players. I won't call them old, the experienced players, and a great mixture of young players as well. And Tyler Seguin has been around the league for a very long time. Of course, he won a Stanley Cup in his first year or two in the league with the Boston Bruins. Now going for one again here with Dallas, he is only minus 120 to record a point. That just goes to show how stacked this team has really been, with so many great players like Hintz, like Robertson, so many guys up front that are creating offense, that we're getting minus 120 for Seguin just to record a point, score a goal, or get an assist. So I think that the experienced players quite often step up in big games like this. You talked about the coaching staff, and I also talk about it with experienced players out there on the ice. So I think it's a really great price at minus 120, and I'll take Tyler Seguin to get me a point tonight in Game 7.
All right, I like that, Andrew. Let's try and keep making money with this. We need a very good Western Conference Finals and Eastern Conference Finals, and then a Stanley Cup. Let's run this thing up, my friend. As far as WagerTalk, a couple plays in the soccer today. 3-0-1 with the soccer 4-pack yesterday. The one push was kind of disappointing. Like Arsenal, come on, man, you can't score 1 goal. Give me over 3 in that game. But a 5% winner with Man United for my clients on Saturday. That went should have been a more lopsided game. So 2 plays up in soccer today. 3 plays up in the NHL for this Game 7, mixture of plays and props. And one of them is what is my show best bet. So I'm going to give you one of them right now. I'm going to take the over in the first period. As you said, Andrew, they really haven't adjusted the VIG on this, and I get it, but it's gone over the number the last couple of games. You're paying 125 on the over 1.5. Normally with 6s, you're paying about 145 to 160 for an over 1.5 in the first period. So I'm taking the low VIG minus 1.5 over 1.5 as your show best bet. Guys, no show tomorrow, but we hopefully we'll have one on Wednesday. Love to see you guys in the chat. I'm going to finish off my vacation, and you guys have a great night.
Carm, I'm doing this on air to you right now, but this is just spur of the moment. I am seeing that I don't see it on my phone apps, but on DraftKings, they are showing that tomorrow is the start of Panthers Hurricanes. Could be wrong. We'll talk about it after the show, but that's what DraftKings is showing. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I don't know. Their schedule wasn't really released.
Anything on NHL.com this morning, just before we went to air. It just said Game 1 TBA. So I thought if anybody knew, it would be the NHL networks.
Yeah.
Or
I guess
websites.
DraftKings could be just guessing. Maybe they're just guessing. Who knows?
If there is a game tomorrow, there will be a show tomorrow. Let's just put it that way.
Sounds good. Sounds good. For me, I have a 5% play actually going tonight in the Game 7 between Seattle and Dallas. It is not one of the plays that I mentioned on the show today so far, but I will say, guys, that I am on the exact same page as Carmine for the best bet. I know we try and mix things up, but I liked Carm's play so much, I said I'm going to use it too. Over 1.5 in the first period. I do not think these teams wait and be hesitant and be very passive to start this game off. I'm expecting lots of urgency, lots of shots, and really both teams have done a great job of getting to goaltenders early. Ottinger and Grubauer have not had a great second round. Let's get some goals early here in this game, and it is a great price of -120 on just the 1.5 number, which is something we have not seen that much here in the playoffs this season at a -120. So we are on the same page with the over 1.5 in the first period. Let's get some goals early in this hockey game, guys. Nice to have a little bit of an earlier start in this game. Carm, yesterday, I used to be someone that would stay up so late. Now, yesterday, I watched the first period of the Oilers game, fell asleep for the second, and watched the third. So I missed the most action-packed period, the second period, which was kind of a disappointment. But I will be watching today's game. It is a little bit earlier, and it's going to be a great one, guys, Dallas and Seattle. So get all of Carmine's picks at WagerTalk.com. He's doing multiple sports right now. Everything $9. Same thing for me. And a quick recap of the plays that we have going. We've got Tyler Seguin to record a point. We have Seattle, Dallas, first period over 1.5. And we have the full game, Seattle and Dallas over 6 +100 there for the Seattle, for the charity challenge. Again, Carmine and I were both liking the first period over 1.5. That's best bet material for both of us. Guys, happy Monday. Enjoy your days. Best of luck. And tune in to Wager Talk today coming up at 12 o'clock Eastern time. Take care.
A 7-day all-access pass is a great way to get a week of your favorite WagerTalk handicapper selections for under $15 per day. An all-access pass includes all plays in all sports released from your favorite WagerTalk expert, including any top-rated 5% plays generally priced at $35. Well, we not only made the 7-day all-access better this week, but we made it 50% better. From now through Sunday, May 21st, you can head to your favorite handicappers page and get the 7-11 special, giving you 11 days of all-access service for the same $99 we normally charge you for 7. It's like getting a $59 3-day pass and a $39 1-day pass for free. So pick one, pick two, or pick all your favorite handicappers and get their all-access service for the next 11 days for only $9 per day per handicapper.